Seeing this collection is like walking into one of the great museums of the world, Musée d'Orsay or National Gallery. Some of the greatest works by the greatest artists of the 20th century in portraiture. As someone who's 8 years on the board of trustees of the National Portrait Gallery, we'd kill for most of the works in this collection. This is a proper global museum level. It just doesn't get higher than this. I'm Jonathan Yeo. I'm an artist. I specialise in portraiture. I think we're all drawn to people and faces more than perhaps we're always aware. I think it's an evolutionary thing that we need to be able to be interested in and read and understand and make quick decisions about people and situations. And a lot of that comes from how we read faces. I didn't go to art school, so I learnt to paint by going to very often the Tate Gallery, which is now the Tate Britain, and looking at all the 20th century artists and trying to basically copy their styles. Quite a few of those artists, not the pictures themselves, but quite a few of the artists or works that are ones that are represented in the collection. And I think that's when I became aware of this thing of what happened in the 20th century, where portraiture was challenged by photography and then almost liberated by it, no longer having to record exactly what someone looked like. I don't think anyone would assume that with Sotheby or the Bacons, that's what people literally look like. Someone who's known for their depictions of these almost violent, distorted depictions was no less compromising when dealing with his own face. I think the reason people are drawn to portraits, it's like meeting another human being. Obviously you have people like Lucian Freud, who I've always slightly argued is not a portrait painter. That's not to denigrate him at all. I think he's one of the greatest painters of the human form and human flesh anyone in art history. I never sensed that Lucian was particularly interested in getting any psychological insights into the subject. A personal favourite of mine, and perhaps one I relate to more than the others, is Klimt's portrait of Gertrude Love. The unusual framing is lovely, and the fact that it's so narrowly constraining her makes you feel very close to it. It draws you in. The way he focuses on the face and hands and allows everything else to kind of slightly disappear into an ambiguous background is something I often try to do in my own work. Varying degrees of success. I always feel that a great portrait has a sense of image coming alive. The subject might come out of the canvas and into the room with you. Amedeo Modigliani by Modigliani is a lovely portrait of kind of personality. Imagine we've encountered a lot down in the south of France in those days. Self-important local officials. The story of Modigliani was that he used to work very fast on the faces. He would do the face in the first day and be kind of happy with it, but then felt bad about charging so much for the commission, so he spent the next 2 weeks working on everything else. That's why there's often the clothes in the background are much more heavily painted than the face itself. The portrait of Paul Hugo, it's partly just lovely because that sort of look, without the top hat, it could always be someone from now. The face, it's so interesting to see, but the outfit is what sort of places it in a particular moment in history. I imagine those were very much the sort of hipster fashions of the time. Being a portraitist myself, it's always very exciting seeing someone who's focused the collection so much on that genre. I've had such a sort of invested so much energy in seeking out the best examples of 20th century portraiture by many of the greatest artists of the time. And most of the other works on this level are already in museums and places where they're unlikely to come on the market again. So you think you like the pictures from seeing them in reproduction, you'll probably like them more when you see them in the flesh.